So when you go to, for example, this specific 910, and you want to view the grading report for this, you jump over, and this takes us to the grading report. So here we see your Louis Robert card. That was the same 910 that you see right here.
Matt, is this what is this next screen that you're showing right here? Is this the digital image and grading report, just to be clear?
Yes.
Thank you.
So which we call the DIG sometimes, and grading report, DIG, digital imaging and grading report. There's been a lot of affectionate terms, but we think DIG has a
dig into.
Yeah, you can really dig into the grades. So here we have that card. We have the flip that's mirrored as the same as the actual card itself, the 4 subgrades, and then the feature to be able to zoom in here. This is actually the card completely raw. So this is the view if it's without annotations, which you'll see a little bit later on. But we can look in and see in high detail what sort of stuff's going on with the card.
How far in does that magnification go? What X? What multiplier?
800%, where you can really see like the print details here, these circles. And then the next feature that we really like here, which is really exciting, I think, is this photometric stereoscopic imaging. So this is a surface defect transparency slider that we've integrated, which allows you to see the card the way that the system sees it. So as you scale this down, you'll be able to see this sort of tag X-ray, we like to call it, which really reveals the defects and makes it clear where there is stuff that's wrong, especially when you have like a big scratch on a card or bunch of pits, just sort of like removes the curtain, so to speak. So we'll get more into this, and then you can also zoom in with this functionality. But we'll get more into that a little bit further down the page. The next thing I want to focus on is we have your cert number here, and then we have these 3 key factors: the population, the card rank, and the chronology. And then, oh, Steve just reminded me one thing I forgot was our cert numbers. We're going to offer customization here. So say you got your card, you bought it from the National, and you wanted to submit it and make sure that for your set registry, you want to have every card you've bought at the National start with NAT. We'd be able to have that customizable. Obviously, you can't do something that's already taken, but we are integrating that feature. So we have these 3 core pillars of data for each card. There's the population as of date, because obviously this is going to change every day.
Is that in real? Does that change at midnight every night, or is it in real time?
Greg?
Nightly. Yeah, we update. Essentially, the day's worth of grading data is published to the population report at the end of every day.
Thank you.
Yeah, so this says the date there. So if somebody wanted to screenshot this and showcase their card, it has that data there already for them. And then these fields correlate to the same fields that you saw in the pop report. So you have the rank by grade, overall card rank, and then you see here, this is the rank by grade and the overall card grade. And then again, just to further explain, if this is the same right now because we're looking from a very small sample size, but if we had 10 of these, this might have I don't know, 4 and total grade at 10.
And the hobby really likes to know that information, right? I know we all, even on eBay, and I'm sorry for jumping in, but I just want to make the comment that one of the things I like to see when I see a card for sale that is a graded card, I like to see what the population is and how many are graded higher. And I believe that this box on the far left provides that insight.
Mm-hmm. Well said. And then, so then the next thing is the card rank. So we have the rank by grade and then the rank overall. To get both of these one would be pretty rare. You'd have to be dealing with either a card that's has a very small population or very high-end pristine card. So that's that slot. And then the chronology, like I explained before, has to do with when you had it graded. And the date you had it graded is also here, because I think that's something that a lot of people like to know, when the card was specifically graded.
Yeah, actually, I think for card rank, the only way you could get a 1-in-1 at first, you'd have to have the first card graded. So for it to be the highest overall grade, you could get a 1. I guess it's theoretically possible you could do it.
It'd be tough.
It'd be very difficult to do it other than on a first card.
And as we scroll down, we make our way into the sort of data section. So this is the tag grading summary. So we have the tag grade here.
I asked you to acknowledge.
Oh, I guess Steve wants me to acknowledge that I had a large input in designing this. 910 here, we have the, I've been envisioning for a long time, like, what do I want to see when I have a card graded? And so I've gone through so many different iterations of this, and this has been the one that makes me feel confident and just feel secure about getting a card graded. It's like I have all the data that I could possibly want. It's laid out in front of me in a way that breaks it down very clearly. And I think people will appreciate that, the transparency. So yeah, as I was saying, it starts with 910. You get a front and a back grade. So this is 921 and a 909. Then we have the centering breakdown, the corners breakdown, front and back for each, surface front and back for each, edges front and back. And we also have the dimensions, which, as you can see, to the 3rd decimal place, pretty accurate. And then as that further breaks down, we have this graph, which actually shows the detailed corner analysis for each corner and edge. And then also the chart, which on this, we have annotations for where the defects are. So you can see the system here caught a pit up here, caught a scratch over here. We have the centering. Looks like this was a 51.19 and a 48.81, top to bottom, left to right, 45.54. We also have the dimensions here, which you also saw up here. So
let me jump in. I like that you've added dimensions, because that's something that I've never seen or heard of being offered back to the customer of any grading company. And I think we know that the standard size is 2.5 by 3.5 inches. And the fact that you're showing that exact measurement to 3 decimal places is it's just above and beyond what the hobby has been conditioned to expect. And I think it's going to blow people away that you're providing that. Thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we agree. And I think that there's a lot of things we can learn, and the system will continue to learn in terms of counterfeit detection and things of that nature, because of the fact that we can look at the size in such high detail. So anyway, all of these icons are clickable. They'll automatically navigate you down to the next section. So if we want to go to surface, for instance, this is the SFX image, the tag X-ray, which you saw up there. However, this one has the annotations marked on it. So if we zoom in, you can see, for example, here. And by the way, if you can zoom using this button, but you can also zoom in with your cursor if you scroll to that area. So if you zoom in here, you can see, looks like it looks like a scratch. You can look and see.
Can you zoom in there a little bit more? I saw some red notation or something there.
So I just wanted to identify here that it shows the location here, scratch. And then we can see here, number 3, it was the scratch, the location, the region and area. And here's the, that's at the 800% zoom level. And then actually, just to show you, we can slide this surface defect transparency slider and then look at what it looks like on the actual card itself. So you can see it's there, the scratch is there, but I think this kind of highlights the ability of the system to turn something that, you know, a human might miss, depending upon the grader, and really turn it into a quantifiable data point. So that's an example of it catching a scratch.
And if I may, on that particular scratch, so people don't think the tag system's going to overly penalize cards because of its extreme ability to find defects. The front and back scores on this are 958 and 941. So you can see there's virtually no penalty for these particular defects. These are at the lower end of what the system will consider for grading. We see defects below this that are not annotated, and we call those not human observable defects, NHODs. And the system also picks up NHODs, and those, of course, can be used for digital fingerprinting or other things that we are thinking about right now.
I just want to stop there for a moment, because what I'm hearing with these NHODs, or I think you said non-human observable deficiencies, right, or defects, that really makes me I like it. I like that, and the reason why I like that is because, you know, there's something to be said for, like, you know, if I can't see it, I don't care. Yet an automated grading system is going to pick up every defect on a card that a human can't see. So does that mean, Steve, that really does that bridge the gap between, you know, a collector or investor who says, listen, I mean, the card is beautiful. My human eye can't detect that. So if it's non-human observable, then is the tag system going to award or I guess penalize the card much less, if not at all, because of it? Yet it does still allow you to identify it, which I have to think comes in very handy when it comes to fingerprinting. Can you speak to that a little bit?
I'll take a shot and then we'll kick it to Greg. Yes, the system is designed to identify all those defects. As you get down into the lower spectrum with respect to size, location, you know, the depth, length, whatever of a defect, of course, its impact on a roll-up score or its impact on a card grade becomes so minimal that at some point it's virtually non-existent to the grade. But below that, we still have defects that are non-human observable defects. And those are defects that are not being annotated by the system to impact on grading, but they are being identified by the image capture so that everybody who wants to will find out what those defects are. Greg, I'll kick it over to you.
Yeah, I like the new nomenclature, the NHOD. Yeah, Jeremy, it's a good question. You know, from our perspective, you can absolutely have a industry standard grading scale 10, right, while having identifiable defects, whether they are human observable or not, right? Very, very slight, for example, very, very, very slight scratches or a very, you know, hardly observable pit probably alone are not going to sway the card off of a 10, right? You know, we've found many cards, right, that will have NHODs, right? But one of the beautiful aspects of the grading system that we've implemented here is that we can differentiate, right, and scale, right, the defect deductions that are applied to a relevant measurement, right, so that it is scoring it appropriately.